When you get hit playing doubles, it usually means that you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And believe it or not, that's exactly what these professional players are doing. I'll reveal what that mistake is in just a second so that you can improve your doubles positioning, win more points, and win more matches. But first, let's go to the court and explore exactly what you should be doing instead. We're about to watch a point between the Bryan brothers and their opponents at the Australian Open, but you might notice something strange is going on here. I've removed the baseline players to illustrate something. Question for you. Can you tell which net player is on the serving team and which one is on the returning team? Pick a player in your head, and how do you know which one is which? Well, I'll give you a hint. The serving team starts off on offense, and the returning team starts off on defense. So in doubles, if you're smart, you're going to have different starting net positions based on if your team is starting on offense or your team is starting on defense. You shouldn't be starting in the same place in each of those situations. This player right here is on offense because he's the serving player's partner, and he knows that the ball has to land inside the service box before going to the returning player. And that means that he has the first opportunity to take the ball out of the air and attack. And so this player over here is starting in a defensive net position. That's why he's farther away from the net and his opponent is closer to the net. So now everything looks normal. Here's the serving player, the returning player. Now imagine for a second that Bryan actually starts right up against the net. How big of a liability would that be for him? Especially if his brother did not get the ball past the net player on the other side. Well, if Mike was literally standing right here, right up against the net, and the net player intercepts the ball, then Mike could have no time to respond or react or hit a quality shot back. So with that in mind, I'd like you to focus in on Mike, and we're going to play the points, and I don't want you to watch any other players. Just watch Mike as this point unfolds and track how the ball is moving back and forth as well, but just keep your eyes on Mike. Watch his movement as the ball travels back and forth. Notice he's not staying in the same place. He's transitioning and going closer in and further back, depending on where the ball is. So to start the point, when he knows the ball has to hit the service box and go to his partner, he starts back on defense. Then when the ball makes it past the net player, he's moving in to offense. Then when the ball gets past him and it's going back to his partner on the baseline, he's going back to defense again, then back into offense again, then back to defense again, then back to offense again, and back to defense again. And he's not staying in one place. He's shifting with the ball. As the ball travels back and forth, he is also traveling back and forth. Whoever said that they play doubles because they don't want to do so much running in tennis, frankly, just isn't doing what they're supposed to do on the courts. When you're in a net position, it doesn't mean you just stand in a static spot and just cover your rally and hope you get involved in the points. Okay, now let's go back to the professional players getting hit. This is the player who's about to get hit. Let's go ahead and play the point out and watch what direction he moves and what direction the ball is moving. You see what happened there? So the ball goes to his partner and he starts off in a defensive position, but watch the timing between where the ball goes and where he goes. The ball is still traveling this way and he's traveling this way. So he's moving away from where the ball is and he's moving from defense to offense before he even has any idea whether or not the ball is going to be intercepted by the net player. The ball is intercepted by the net player and he essentially runs right into the attack. So this player did exactly what they were supposed to do, and this player did not do what they were supposed to do. He was supposed to be on defense, but instead moved to offense way too early, and so he had no time to respond to the ball, which is exactly why he got hit. And here's the other one. This is the player that's going to get hit. Again, this player starts off in a defensive net position, and notice her opponent is starting off in an offensive net position because that's the serving side. And this one takes a little bit longer to unfold. Watch what happens here. There's a little bit more nuance to this one. starts on defense, moves to offense, then stays on offense. So as opposed to Mike, she began in the right spot and waited until the ball did make it past the net player on the other side, then traveled with the ball moving forwards. But when the ball went back behind her again, look at the direction the ball was moving, and now watch what direction she's moving. She keeps going this way. In doubles, anytime the ball travels this way and you travel that way, and you go in the opposite direction as the ball, you are about to be in a lot of trouble. So she places herself in a very offensive position while the ball is back by her defensive partner. And so when the ball doesn't make it past the net player, of course she's going to get hit. Sometimes it's just bad luck, and sometimes there are malicious hits. Neither of these hits were malicious, just to address that, right? Like there's some people who are just not nice people and they're going to try to hit you. That's not what happened in either of these cases. And in my experience playing tennis for 30 years, that's usually the case. It's usually not a malicious thing. You just end up going the wrong direction at the wrong time and you put yourself right into trouble. A very simple way of remembering this is simply the phrase, follow the ball. When the ball travels in this direction, Mike stays back in that position. Then when the ball goes in this direction, watch the direction of the ball and watch Mike. Mike follows that direction. Then when the ball travels in this direction, Mike goes back again in that direction. So notice this is like the details here are really important. Look at the direction of this shot. Look at the angle the ball is traveling on. Notice that he doesn't go this way or this way. He goes this way. He literally parallels the direction that the ball was hit. That's so that he can be as effective as possible plugging up the center of the court. If he traveled this way or this way, he would leave extra space open in the center that would be available for his opponent to hit. And same thing, when the ball goes in this direction, watch his direction of movement. He travels at an angle in this direction. What's interesting about this point example is his opponent across from him breaks this pattern, and that's why he and his partner got behind in the point. He's got the right general idea. The ball's going forwards, he's going forwards. The ball's going backwards, he's going backwards. Keep an eye on this player. Then the ball goes forwards, he goes forwards, and this time he breaks away and he tries to poach, which we don't have time to talk about today. He's breaking the direction that the ball is traveling to try to intercept it. Can't quite reach it. And now watch how his partner is going to hit the ball this way, and he's going to move that way. And that gets him off sync with the ball. Now he's moving in the opposite direction as the ball. And now this shot is going to get hit this way, and he's going to move that way. Ball goes behind him, and now he goes forwards. You see what's happening here? And it's him moving forwards that opens up this gigantic gap between him and his partner. That's what caused this scramble and caused them to have to switch and cause kind of the chaos in the defense here that ensues. And that's what gives Bob and Mike the advantage in this point. When you give the Bryan brothers an overhead, the point is pretty much going to be over.